What's up, everybody? It's LaVar Arrington here and my man TJ Houshmandzadeh. That's right, we doing some up on game for y'all to be up on game. And this one today, we definitely put y'all up on some game in terms of how we're looking and feeling about things. And make sure you subscribe and check out Up on Game, the podcast. Make sure you check us out on Saturdays from 9 to 11 or from noon to 2 o'clock, all right? TJ, let's jump right into this, man. The Ole Miss game and Texas A&M. In the game, you have Shemar Turner, who gets ejected for a personal foul, like a flagrant personal foul, because a lineman named Micah Pettus basically did an obscene act and gesture to Shemar Turner
Just
on
say
the
what he
field.
did.
Now,
He
let's take
teabagged him.
okay. Let's take a look at the teabagging.
Why Shemar Turner was ejected, Jordan.
Oh, look, Micah Pettus has been finishing blocks like this all game, and watch Turner get up with the frustration. It's right there.
Okay, TJ. I got to tell you, man. If I'm giving advice to my child on what Micah Pettus did to Shemar Turner, I say what, TJ?
You're a man first. That's first and foremost. You are a man first. You never let nobody disrespect you like that. Me personally, you know in the game of football, you can't throw punches. The consequences of what come from that, and so you punch him in the helmet, he ain't gonna feel it. It's gonna hurt your hand more than anything. You tried to hit him, which I thought would have dropped him, and it didn't in his private. And it didn't drop him, so you obviously didn't hit him there either. Me personally, we would have fought after the game. We would have fought after the game. I would have been right at his locker room waiting on him. I've done that before. Waited on somebody at the locker room. And so, and I'm not.
Did it happen? Did the lockup happen? Did you ever have a time you waited and the lockup
security
happened?
wouldn't allow it because every team has security, and then they got the police officers that work the games. But I was so angry that I was like, I don't care what happened. He gonna have to beat my ass. They gonna have to jump me, but somebody gonna feel this. And that was just it was just blatantly disrespectful. To me, they both should have been ejected. Like you can't disrespect somebody like that and act like you didn't. I hate that. You're the aggressor and now you want to play the victim. What did I do? Why did he do this to me? I didn't even do anything to him. Like, nah, you were the aggressor, you initiated it. But me personally, yeah, I would have tried to meet him in the locker room. Better I hope I don't see him in off season.
When you listen to the video and they air the video, the broadcasters don't even acknowledge what Micah Pettus is doing. All the articles that I read,
they're conditioned.
All the articles that I read, nobody says anything about what Micah Pettus did. And it's the most blatant. It's one, like, you could, it's as disrespectful as spitting in my face
put your nuts on
or slapping my mama.
You put your nuts on this man's head.
Like, think about this. If somebody was to disrespect my mama or were to spit in my face, those are the two things. You could call me a N-word to my face. You could pretty much do anything you want, and my self-control is good. Like, I'm good. Like, you're not gonna pull it out of me. Put your ball sack on my head, player.
It's poured out of you.
It's a different story. It's a different story. I'm sorry. And not one person had the frame of mind that's writing about it, or even in the moment where you're like, oh, Pettus is finishing blocks. Look at the way he's finishing blocks. Look here. You can finish a block. You pancaked him. Okay, no problem. But not only did you get up and put your sack on his head, you remained there. Like, I was giving a count. I'm going to watch it again. just so I'm not inaccurate on what I'm feeling, TJ. Like I counted at least 3 seconds where he had his nutsack on this
Dude,
man's face, on his
that's just
head.
disrespectful, man. You don't do those type of things, man. Like, and if you do, there's gonna be consequences. Like that, it's just disrespectful. Period.
First off, I understand that you get ejected for hitting a
I'm
man
I'm
in
okay.
his
I'm okay
junk.
with
I
getting
get
ejected
that.
for that type of.
I I get that. I get that. But you are looking at this guy and you're saying he's finishing blocks and what he's been finishing blocks all day, and you're praising this dude for how he's playing and how physical he's playing when he's exuding a lewd act. Like you said, I'm a man first. Like, I don't know what advice I give to my child in that moment because they always get the second guy. They always get the
You know
second
what you
guy in
tell
these
your son?
situations.
If you feel that you've been disrespected, because we playing football. Very, very rarely do you feel like somebody disrespected you. You may get beat, and he may manhandle you, or he may win that rep, but that's not disrespectful. You just lost. But if you feel like you've been disrespected as a man, you do what you feel you got to do.
But here's I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, TJ, because when I played, I was a shit talker. Like I'm gonna talk bad to you, and I'm not talking bad to you. Maybe a few times, the dude I was talking bad to, I really didn't like them. Maybe like on one handful of guys, I really just personally, I did not like them. So what I was saying to them was both personal
But
and
if we're going words,
professional. But
LaVar, if
I'm a
we're going
talker.
words, I can give you words right back. If it's verbal,
Right,
I can give
right,
you that right back.
right.
But you can't
Correct.
just, oh, I'm a teabag him right
You can't
back.
put
Like
your you.
how do you like you
Nah, you're
can't do
not.
that. No,
But then you stayed. You stayed there. You stayed. You stayed. You got up on him, and you stayed there.
can't
Ain't
do
no
that,
way.
boss.
And ain't no
Nah,
way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Not now. Not never. I ain't never gonna be that guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got to get mine. And maybe that's saying you don't have the type of control to be the proper leader of young men. I don't know. But if I'm raising a man, and that means sacrificing being the proper leader of young men in a moment where another man put his nutsack on the top of your helmet and stay and keep in mind this is during the course of a game. So dude
if that's
stink.
my
You know he was
son
stinking.
and he does,
He put all that stink on me.
LaVar, if that's your son and he doesn't respond, he gonna hear
I'm
he
beating
gonna
him
hear
up.
from you.
I'm I'm gonna try to beat my own
Like,
son
bruh,
up if my son allows
very,
somebody to
very
do that to
simple,
him.
very simple.
I'd rather the video show me fist, forearm, whatever it is that Turner did to that young man in that moment than to be able to say, son, you exercise great restraint. Look at that. Look at your self control, sir. I
I
appreciate
don't
your
want
self control.
bro in that
Damn that.
situation. I don't want any. That's just that
Damn
people
that.
that act, oh, you got to be the bigger man. You have to keep your cool. Nah, not in that situation. I'm sorry.
So what do you think should happen? He got suspended for the game. Should the other kids, should Pettus be suspended? Should they come back and make this
They're,
right? How you
you
think
know
this
they're
should be
not going to
handled?
do that. They're going to leave it as is because they're going to act like they don't understand what he was doing. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't with intent, which it was. So
Oh, that's
I
his malicious and if you're going to act like that ain't intent or malicious intent, you should be evaluated for having the decision making ability at that position in particular. Because that's not hard at all to
I don't
decipher.
believe anything will happen because the powers that be, they're going to say he didn't do anything wrong, which they know he did. So yeah, I think it's over.
They better suspend him if you ask me. They bet Y'all better suspend him for putting his nuts on another man's head and keeping him there. You better suspend him. That's all I'm going to say. Let's move on. Let's stay at the college football level because a lot was going on. Caleb Williams. We've been talking about him. He's been a large topic in college football and in football and sports in general. Big story. They continue to lose. They finally fired the guy you were talking about. The defensive coordinator has not coached defense since he's been coaching defense, and now it's caught up to him. Doesn't have a job. They lose. USC loses, and Caleb Williams does a Lambeau leap into the stands. He Lambeau leaps into his mom's arms, after which he starts sobbing, crying in the stands, sitting on the wall in his mom's arms with his mom covering him up with a sign. Then he grabs the sign and he further covers himself up so that he could cry with his mom. What are you thinking? What's your first reaction?
I was shocked, honestly, because we've never seen that. Never. And 1000% because of who he is, you know the camera's on you.
You know the camera's
We
on
know
you,
that,
TJ.
but
You know the camera's
he
on
knows
you.
the camera's on him, and that's why we cover up the face. But I looked at it as it was an organic moment, man. I don't believe it was planned and premeditated. Oh man, I just felt like
I don't either. I don't think it was planned or
so much.
premeditated. I just thought it was soft
Yeah,
as
it
hell.
could be, but he put so much into that game. That's what that told me.
A lot
He
of
put
people
a
did.
lot.
How many dudes you see jump? A lot of dudes put a
No,
lot
no, no,
into the
no.
game. How many dudes is jump
But
the Lambeau leaping? How many dudes is leaping into the
he
stands
put
crying with their
so
mama?
much into that game to come out on the losing end again. And it's on the backs of that defense again. You see what I'm saying? It's the same song and dance. It's the same ending, just a different book. In the book, the different book is an opponent. We do well, we perform on offense, our defense can't stop anybody. I tweeted this last night, or no, Saturday. USC would still be in college football playoff contention if they had any defensive coordinator in the Pac 12 that's not named Alex. They would still be in contention if he wasn't their defensive coordinator. And what really showed me was when he came out and said, I hadn't seen that wheel route on film when they played Utah. Alex Grinch, they ran it the week before against Cal. Are you really watching film? Are you really watching the film? And so Alex Grinch's defense has cost USC an opportunity at 2 seasons that could have been historic with a quarterback that many believe is one of the best college football quarterbacks ever, and you have nothing to show for it. And like I said, you are out here. These kids, SC's lucky they fired him because they would have had no top defensive recruits in Southern California had Alex Grinch been their defensive coordinator. These dudes was going to decommit and they were not going to USC. So if they lucky they fired him because they would have lost out on a lot of them. Madden Reardon, who goes to Sierra Canyon, he just committed to USC about 45 minutes after they fired Grinch. One of the top DBs in the country, about 45 minutes. I remember Madden was a little kid. Starting corner at Sierra Canyon, can run, smart, comes from a good family. He just committed. Is that a coincidence or not?
I don't know, man. I think the defense has stunk under Grinch. I agree with you there, but my focus is on appearance and spectacles. Like, bro, when you on top, my G. You on top, you on top. There have been plenty of times where you was on top and you could have leaped into them stands
He
the same
did. He
exact
did.
way. and
He
put that
did. He
thing
would do
over
that a
your
lot. Well, he wouldn't leap in. No,
leap
he
into the
wouldn't leap in.
stands?
He'd hug his mom, talk to his daddy, and walk off. Hey, but you know the old saying, you can't grin when you win and sing the blues when you lose? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? You can't grin when you win and sing the
All I'm saying is if I'm gonna outward, like, I'm not. First off, I know that wasn't choreographed. I know that wasn't predetermined. That was in the moment. He wanted to hug his mom. He jumped up there to hug his mom, and he had his moment. Like, yeah, I get that. I'm Caleb Williams. I'm considered largely in part to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, college quarterbacks while I'm still playing. Am I wrong for being, maybe this is old school, maybe this doesn't apply to 2023, because my God, I know that this world seems to be a very, very different place that we live in nowadays. It's just very acceptable to accept, if that means anything. Am I wrong? Now, we just asked what the advice would be to your child if he got some nuts slapped on his head and they kept him on his head at an extended amount of time. What would you do? Now, here's a moment where I'd ask, what's the advice you give your child? If that was your son, if that was Crew, and you know Crew has accomplished what he's accomplished at this point, as we make it a Caleb Williams career in college, and you're standing there with your lovely wife, and your baby jumps up into the stands and starts bawling
honestly,
uncontrollably and covers his face with his mom, what you
I
gonna
would
do?
honestly say,
What's
I
the
would
advice you
honestly
give?
say, boy, you know the camera's on you. Get your butt in that locker room. You're gonna play another game. Let's not do this out here right now. I know this hurts. It should hurt because you put a lot into this, but don't let them see you like this. Don't let them see you like this. And I would have told him to go in the locker room.
Let me first by saying, warriors can cry.
Crying in public to me is such a sign of strength more than it is a sign of weakness.
Warriors can cry. Let me first start off by saying that a warrior can cry. But my advice to my son in that moment, you cross them lines. First and foremost, this is what I teach my kids and anybody I coach. We've coached together, so you know this how I roll. I turn into somebody and something totally different once I cross them white lines. You cross them white lines, it's the Serengeti. The Serengeti is a national wildlife reserve where wild animals
Isn't that
live.
crazy? Like how certain people don't transform them. Like it's crazy. Because I know when I played, I was just like, I don't know, bro. I just turned into somebody else. It was weird.
Bruh, I'd be like,
I don't know. Yeah, I get that. And, yeah,
game, look, we come off the game field. Hey, how y'all doing? And that might be crazy. We might be the ones that are crazy. We might truly be the one that are compartmentalizing crazy. But I'll be damned if I had my son not compartmentalizing crazy in the moments of being a warrior versus being a child. It's okay to be a child. It's okay to be emotionally, drained or emotionally distraught or defeated. But you do not show the world your weakness. Do not show weakness at any point in time when you have shown to be the strong that you have been all along. And that's what I would be telling. Now, in the moment, I'm gonna grab my son and be like, gut up, son. Like, gut it up. You all right? Suck it up, gut it up. Like, get down, dry your eyes, and go be a leader. That's what I'm
and
gonna
this
say
is
in the
the thing
moment.
though, LaVar, because of how our generation grew up, gutted up. Don't do this. For him to, for him, Caleb Williams, to get that out, that's a good thing because you get that,
I think there's a
you
time
get,
and a
but
place. I
listen,
think there's a
when
time
you
and a
get that
place.
out right now, he's over it now. He's over it. because he let all of that out. It's not going to be all that pent up frustration inside. He let it out. He goes into the locker room. He wakes up on Sunday, which was yesterday. He feels good. When he wakes up on Sunday, he felt good because he didn't hold all of that in. He got out.
You don't have to do it in front of the entire world when you know the entire world is
Hey,
watching you. You do not have to do it in front of the entire world.
I agree with that, but sometimes
I used to say I've had moments, and you and I both know if my parents are at a game, if your parents were at a game, and any of your loved ones were at a game, when's the one time, name me one time you did not see them and was not able to hug them and love on them before you even got on the bus or went to where you were going? Name one time where you weren't able to see your family when they came to your game and you did not see them in the tunnel, in the tailgate area, wherever it is. Name one time where you didn't see them.
Every game. But
Every game.
that
Every
was
game.
the
Every
emotion
game.
that he had right then and there. I wouldn't have done it, but I don't fault him for that because I don't know how he was raised. He may be raised to where he's been taught if you feel a certain way, you express that. And that's how he felt. I don't.
And there's nothing, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing how you feel. I don't. I really don't. So I may come across as a tad bit like, well, which one is it, LaVar? I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with that. I do have a problem. I have a problem with you being this sturdy human being that has won the Heisman, that has been a generational transcending of the game, of the sport in the NIL era, and a player, and you're weeping. You're weak, like you leap into the stands and you're in a fetal position with your mom crying while they cover your face up. I didn't like it. Now that's just me personally. I felt like someone of his caliber and his stature and what he's accomplished, do it somewhere else. For everything that you represent, for everything that you stand for, where you're heading, where you're going, you're about to go into a locker room full of grown-ass men and lead them as a rookie next year. Do it somewhere else. Because you're a leader.
I mean, he can still be a leader and cry. That doesn't make him less of a leader.
Yeah, you can. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like the optics of it. I just don't like it. It could be a personal thing, but I just think times have changed. I don't like that. You're a warrior.
There's
be
a lot
warrior.
of people that come from our generation that don't like it. I'm not saying I like it, but to me, when you can do that publicly, it's such a sign of strength because I'm not afraid to be vulnerable, knowing that the
it's not the act of crying. It's not the act of
it's
crying.
the act of doing.
It's the act of jumping. It's the act of doing it in public the way that you did it. You can cry. You can cry. You can shed tears in public for losing a game. But you're going to jump into your mom's arms and your mom's is holding you like you a baby. Like she was holding him like he was like 5 months old, bruh. Fresh out the womb. She was holding him like he was fresh out the womb, TJ.
Will always be a mother, man. Always.
All she had to do was pull out a big ass big boy bottle with a pacifier nipple on it and put it in his mouth, and he's went back to his childhood, his baby years of development. That's all he was short of, was either breast milk or Similac. It was one of the two, but that was the only thing that separated him from being a baby in that moment. And I ain't like it. I didn't like it. I probably will get filleted on social media for this take. People are going to say you're fake, you're a fake tough guy, all that stuff. I'm really not. I believe in showing your emotions. If he had cried, like see your mom, like have tears come down, okay. But to be held in a fetal position, you dove up there to get to mama. And you're being held in a fetal position, dog. I just don't know. I dig that, man.
And man, his legs were hanging off the side. His mom, come on, bro.
Did you see it?
In a fetal position. Come on.
The fetal position, dog.
Nah.
Fetal position. Go check out the film. Fetal position. Oh, God. Look at
Legs
it.
hanging. You have
Let's
told
look
you.
at it. Let's look at it again. Here, let's look at it again. I'm sorry, man. You got to do better, TJ. You got to do better, TJ. You in the Serengeti. Lions don't cry when they're in the Serengeti and they miss their food for the day. They go hungry. I'm hungry. I don't go crying to mama.
Hey,
I ain't going looking for mama
hey, you got.
lioness. I got to go try
When
to
you got
hunt
that
again.
defense and you've been experiencing that since you've come to USC, hey, I don't blame
You might cry.
you. You've been
You might cry.
Alex
All right, that's
Grinch,
fair
yeah,
enough.
I don't blame him. One eye.
Yeah, speaking of defense, let's transition to our last topic of conversation. The Commanders in their game against the Patriots. You had a defensive of player that was on a pass rush, gets to the quarterback, and it looks like it's a sack. Like it's a routine sack of the quarterback. And it's a roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty. Here, let's take it.
3rd down and 10. Jones taken down. Back at the 48-yard line, there's a flag.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 55.
TJ Houshmandzadeh, I've been saying this for quite some time. Just admit you don't want your quarterbacks getting hurt.
They've admitted.
You don't want them
They've
getting
admitted
touched. You don't want them
They've
getting
admitted that.
touched. So stop having them get touched. If you can touch, like, one hand tag. If I can touch the quarterback, he's down. I'm sorry. Let's make it one hand tag.
It can be one hand, but it should be really to the point where if you can get 2 firm hands on him, he's down. Because too many times, even if you watch when a quarterback is running on the sideline, Pat Mahomes and these guys will act like they're going to run out of bounds and keep running.
And then come back in.
Running.
Or they're going to act like they're going to throw it.
Pull back.
Pull it down and keep running.
But
they buck in the
officials
system.
have been told, err on the side of caution. And caution is, we want to keep the quarterbacks healthy. We want to keep them healthy. But too many times, these penalties are costing teams games. And when you cost a team a game, you're possibly costing a coach his livelihood because they get
or a player.
And so I don't like it, but this is where we are. They don't want the quarterback
one hand
hit.
tag.
And so you got to one hand because you can just reach out to 2 hands, blow it dead.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
If you gonna sit there and judge these
LaVar,
dudes off of what you're judging them off of right now, make it one hand tag.
Yesterday, and Josh Allen is scrambling to the right. And he gets some yards. The DN really could have blew him up, and he tried to grab.
And they don't
and
do it.
He broke the tackle and got like 10 more yards. But if he blows him up, that's a penalty. And it's almost as if they don't care if the quarterbacks get extra yards or act like you're running out of bounds.
Or run you over, put their shoulder down, run through you like, look at how tough Josh Allen is on that run. He's a big rumbling, stumbling QB. Look at that. He can run come on, man. Get out of here.
But I will say this. They've been saying this since this rule has been implemented. They want the quarterback healthy. They don't want the starting quarterback to be hurt. And so it will never be 2-hand touch. How do you tackle them? I don't know. I really
blow it dead. Blow it dead.
You can't hit them.
The referees need to start blowing it dead before the tackler get the pass rusher. The defender gets to the quarterback.
You can't hit them low. Where can you hit them?
You can't hit them, bro. The strike zone is so small. And then on top of that, what do you do once you strike them? Because now they're throwing penalties on follow through. You take him down and you follow through it to him. It's a flag. Like, what are you like? What?
Man,
There's nobody else on the field that if you hit that way, not a receiver, tight end, receiver, if you hit that way, a running back, nobody else on the field that if you hit that way, you're getting a flag. So why are you singling it out to one?
I remember running a slant route, man, and I didn't get the ball. They threw it to the other side. Man, the motherfucking safety hit me so hard, bro. I got up ready to fight. I didn't even get the ball. I'll never forget Roy Williams. We was playing the Cowboys. And nowadays, he would probably get thrown out the game for that hit because the ball didn't even come to me. And he smoked.
That was how football was supposed to be played.
Oh, I was pissed.
You know how, bruh, you know how many crossers I assassinated in my life, bruh? A lot. A lot of assassinations took place where they didn't even have the ball and the ball went away. A lot. A lot of that is mental warfare. I've gotten linemen. I've gotten every other position from tight end to running backs and even quarterbacks. If you run down and even punters, if you come into the Serengeti where the wildlife is free to hunt, then you're either going to be the hunter or you're going to be the hunted. That's what happens in between them white lines. And if you don't understand that it's that serious when you come in between them lines, then you have no business being out there. I hate that there's all these mixed signals of how a defender is supposed to play the game of football as it applies to making hits. I saw some plays called flagrants and targeting. I saw same type of play where it wasn't called. Listen, I'm not one to jump at the referees and say this, that, and the other. They got a tough job. I get it. But can we please figure out, am I allowed to hit? Am I allowed to be physical or not? Because that dude that put his nuts on that young man's head, he was being lauded and praised for being physical and finishing. But yet, when you respond or when you come back, because it doesn't even have to be the punching in the nuts that's the response. You could have come off the ball and made that play that the Commanders did on Mac Jones to get your get right and your get back, and you're getting flagged 15 yards, first down, and a penalty that, as you mentioned, could cost the team the game and some critical points during the game.
The Commanders won the game, and that play didn't impact them winning or losing. That's a good thing.
But it has. These calls on quarterbacks have impacted games and big games.
For sure.
Big games. All right, well, let's see how it all plays out. I wonder if Micah Pettus is going to get suspended. I want to see if that happens. I'm leading the charge on a petition for that man to be suspended. A petition. I'm petitioning for you to have to sit down. There's no room for that in this game. You do not put your nuts on another man's head in this game. There's no respect at all. Not for the game, not for the player, not for yourself. There's no respect when you drop your sack on a man's head like that and keep him there. I don't bang with that at all. I don't bang with that at all. Listen, as far as with Caleb Williams, TJ, you know, everybody's got their own way of doing their things. I don't bang with that either. I'll hug my mama and I'll cry on her shoulder away from the cameras, away from all that attention. I'm going to hug my mama and I'm going to cry and I'm going to tell her I'm sorry I let you down or whatever it is that I may have felt in that moment. I'm going to hug my dad, hold my dad, dap my dad up, whatever it may be. I'm not doing it in front of the cameras. Not doing it in front of the cameras for a multitude of reasons. I don't bang with it. And thirdly, allow them cats to be professionals. And if they work their asses off to get to the quarterback, but dang it, then let that man finish the play. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm upset. It's an upset Monday. I'm upset, TJ.
The last point, the first and last, I agree with. The middle, not so much.
Okay. That's it? That's all you gonna have? Go ahead, lay in that fetal position in your mama's arm and get that breast milk, my dog. You go ahead and do what you need to do. That's TJ Houshmandzadeh. I'm LaVar Arrington. This is Up On Game. Make sure you subscribe. Check us out on the podcast. Check out the radio show on Saturday, 9 to 11 or noon to 2 p.m. Yeah. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll check you out. All right. Till then, we'll holler at you.
This dude said the fetal position.